Hello everyone, this is Ankita and today we are going to talk about data fundamentals. We have been hearing a lot of the buzzword around artificial intelligence, machine learning and whatnot. But everything, whatever we are talking about, it comes down to data actually. At the back of, rather at the, at the core of all these conversations that we are hearing, all these articles that we are reading, all these different surveys that are coming our way, everything boils down to data only. So today that is the reason that we chose that it's really important that we understand what the data is all about and what is the fundamentals of data. And of course, all this is about like when we are talking about digital really here. So when we are talking about in terms of how digital works, because data has been, it's not a new thing. Although there is a very common phrase these days going around, data is the new oil. But data is like nothing new. It has been always there, and there are numerous instances across history, across different books that you can read through that again points out to the fact that it is data which has actually led to the conclusions, led to the analysis, led to the outcomes. So given all these things in place, why suddenly the surge on data now? Thanks to technology, a lot of the monitoring or a lot of data collection, data capture, which was really infeasible earlier, is now possible. For example, your CCTV cameras are giving the real-time feed of video, the IoTs or the mobile phones, all these devices are allowing you to actually capture data, collect data. And once that data is in place, you can use different technological tools available to analyze that data. So at this stage of data analysis, if depending on the volume of data that you are dealing with, you could find programmatic tools, programmatic languages, data science coming into play, or if you are dealing with smaller amount of data, you can use simpler tools which are available. Then there is something called data visualization, where again there are a couple of data tools which are available, so on and so forth. So the field definitely, as I'm talking about, it's just the fundamentals that we are talking here. The field is quite vast. You can cover a lot of breadth. You can cover, like you can go a lot of into the depth. And the beauty of this entire thing is that it connects your mathematics, your logical aptitude, something of the, it's a combination of arts and science, because whatever you are getting from the numbers, those are just the facts, but how well you are able to connect those facts together to identify new trends, new patterns, that is where the creativity and the art comes into play. So you have to be really adept with the science as well as the art aspects to utilize or fully make sense out of the numbers that you'll be working with. So we'll be trying to cover the basics here, so that given not everyone would be dealing with data as much in detail, and it's of course, as you take up the complex problems, it would require the specialized skill set. So we are just going to cover the fundamentals for the simple reason that moving forward, post the COVID times, when more and more digital is there, a basic awareness about the data, a basic awareness about how digital works is going to go the long way. Because one, of course, it's your privacy and personal security, which could be at risk if you're not really aware about how data works. Secondly, in your job role, in whichever role that you are working, whether it is in the HR department, of course, finance always deals with numbers, or the sales is again around numbers, but departments like marketing or operations and different roles rather, because every department in some ways dealing with numbers, but different profiles might not be on day-to-day basis were dealing with numbers so far, but now moving forward, they'll be working with the numbers as well, because your softwares could be there, the Excels could be there, you could be required to report the day-to-day progress on things. the general pattern on the things. So you need to be really at least be able to get the hang of that kind of data that you are going to work with. So not taking much of your time now, let's move on to the things that we'll be covering in today's video. It would be a series of videos which would be coming your way gradually. And today we are just going to cover what kind of data, what types of data are there when we are working with data. So the first part is what are the different types of data which are there. And some of you might be already aware about this, so feel free to skip out of this video, or if you would like to get a refresher on the aspects, then please continue watching this video. So agenda, as the screen says, is structured, semi-structured, unstructured, and the storage for storing, like the approach which is used for storing these different types of data is into databases. But again, there are two types of databases, relational and non-relational. This is the aspect which we would be covering in next video. Today we'll just be focusing on the types of data. So you have got structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Structured data, as the icon also says, that it's around the tabular format, rows and columns are there. Semi-structured is not completely structured, of course, it's partially structured, which means that some rows might be having, let's say, X number of fields or columns, and some rows might be having X minus 10, X minus 5, or X plus 20. So basically each row will be having different amount of columns or data in columns which is there. And unstructured is, for example, your audio or video files, which are like really difficult to put into this format of a table, or really put into fields that this field has got this much of value. Little deeper into structured data. So in very simple terms, think of an Excel sheet. I hope you all have worked with an Excel sheet. And so any data which you can put into the number, like in columns and rows combination, while ensuring that no cell remains empty. So for each row, every column has got a value that gets to be filled in. And it cannot be a null value or not applicable or not available kind of fields. So each field will have some non-zero value. And if you have got a data of that sort, you can definitely put that data into a structure, and that is what the structured data is all about. Then semi-structured data is the similar to Excel sheet, but in this case, no matter what you do, certain rows will have certain columns which don't have any value. So those would remain empty. Now challenge is to put this kind of data into a data analysis programs, because traditionally the data analysis programs or tools are have not been made to deal with this kind of data. The databases which were there, which like not the recent ones I'm talking about, but the traditional databases which had been there were not really much prepared for dealing with the semi-structured data. So you had to work on the data cleaning aspects to ensure that that semi-structured data is not really going into the into the analysis program, and there is a expected, so you had to ensure that error handling is there, and some expected structure which the program is expecting is there. And that kind of like if the value needs to be in a particular format, in a number, in a numerical format, it's there. If it has to be in the text format, then it is in the text format, and not like happening vice versa. So you are basically forced to put the data into a structure, and it's time consuming, it's error prone, it's a bad option. Although it's a cheaper option in short term, but really expensive in long term, because even if one or two mistakes here and there, which is quite possible humanly, but your analyzed outcome is completely distorted now. So it's not really a good option if your data is critical, or that analysis which you are doing on that data is really critical and a really important step of the decision making for your business. The solution B for this would be that you go with the tools, that is databases and analytical tools, which can support the semi-structured data. So there are definitely modern databases which are there, and analytical tools are there which support your semi-structured data. Although it could be slightly expensive in short term, because one, you would not be having the skill know-how of using these tools and then putting or migrating your data in these tools. But in long term, it gives a great return on your investment. So unstructured data is something which you cannot put in Excel sheets for analysis. So it could be due to the unreliable format or non-repetitive format for further analysis. For example, your video files, your audio files, your log files which are coming from different IoT devices, and these devices at times introduce some signal error or the transmit error which happens because that is happening over the like the internet on the go. So considering all those things, this the unstructured data is data which cannot basically be put into the Excel sheets. So that is what the different types of data are there, and these different types of data are stored in two different types of databases, that is relational or non-relational. So typically the structured data is stored in the relational databases, and the unstructured is put into the non-relational. That is no-brainer actually. It's the semi-structured where you have to take the call. And usually most of our data which we deal with in the real world, in the practical world, like the e-commerce website products of yours, they fall into the semi-structured category. So that is why the understanding of these databases is really important and critical, so that you take the right call for storing your data and working with that data. So I hope this video was meaningful for you. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, share with your friends and colleagues, and stay tuned for the next part of this video where we'll be talking about the types of databases. Thank you for watching this video.